Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everyone. I call this meeting of the Board of Education of the Tri-Valley Central School District to order. The time is 7:01. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. After the Pledge of Allegiance, please remain standing for a moment of silence for Miss Lorraine Gans. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Thank you. You may be seated. Item 1C is the memorial resolution. Whereas Ms. Lorraine Gans served as a staff member of the Tri-Valley Central School District, and whereas Ms. Lorraine Gans exemplified extraordinary 20-year commitment to the students of the Tri-Valley Central School District, and whereas Ms. Lorraine Gans passed away on January 6, 2026, be it resolved that the Tri-Valley Central School District extends its thanks to Ms. Lorraine Gans for her service, and the Tri-Valley Central School District extends its sympathy to the family of Ms. Lorraine Gans during this time of mourning. Moving to item 1D, we are going to bring up the two candidates that we have for tonight. I'm going to invite up Mr. Ian Constable to present first.
Good evening. My name is Ian Constable, and I have a interest in fulfilling the open position on the Board of Education. I have two daughters attending Tri-Valley Elementary School, and my wife is a teacher for the district. Additionally, as a native of Sullivan County and a resident of Grahamsville for the past 8 years, I have an active interest in the continued success and betterment of the community's educational system. As owner of both Constable Custodial Services Incorporated and Liberty Mutuquan Academy, a martial arts school in Liberty, New York, I believe I had business and community experience that could benefit the board and perhaps offer a different point of view. In addition, I currently sit on the Ellenville Hospital Foundation Board and am the chairperson for the Zoning Board of Appeals for the town of Neversink. I'm the past master of a Warsing Lodge, Masonic Lodge of number 582 in Ellenville. Through these many organizations, I have the experience, finance, funding, and event planning, and school presentation, many of which have been focused on giving back to our community and especially our children. From the last meeting, I just wanted to say that through unity, I think that we can make good things happen for the community. Any questions or anything like that, or do I just have a seat? Sorry, I'm very nervous. I don't do public
It's okay.
speaking.
I have a question for you, Ian.
Yeah.
As a current member of the Neversink Zoning Board of Appeals and chair for the last 3 years, can you please describe for us 2 or 3 personal goals related to your board service and what were the results?
So one of them was making sure that we have good educational background. Sorry, I don't know if that went through, but background. One being that we weren't having all of our members go through the educational part, and I made a big point about having that get done. This year was the first year we actually had all of our members complete that certification. It's honestly my first year. I was the co-chairman last year, so I didn't make a lot of the decisions. So that was my first biggest step this year. Also, on top of that, this year I am working on getting more of the members to show up to more meetings. We've only done like 2 or 3 meetings a year, which is I think is not acceptable, especially when you can do education or something to better the board.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ian.
You're welcome.
Next, I'm going to invite up Mr. Timothy Diamond.
Good evening, everyone. Before I start, I want to thank Mr. Constable for coming out and offering to serve, just like I would thank you guys for the service you have given. My name is Tim Diamond, and I'm here tonight to express interest in rejoining the school board. I served on the school board for a 3-year term that ended last year. I was a vice president for each of those years. While I know many of you well, and many of you know me, I think it's important that I explain why I feel I'm a good person to fill the spot. I am deeply rooted in this community. I was born and raised here by my late parents, Calvin and Mary Diamond. My dad was a social worker who was called to the school whenever there was a tragedy or crisis. My mother was a school nurse that everyone leaned on, and my siblings and I all graduated from Tri-Valley. Our family is woven into the fabric of this district. What do I bring to the board? I have extensive board experience, not only as a former school board vice president here, but as the elected president of the New York State Police Investigators Association. This is a 1,300 person union that stretches across the state of New York, of which I led for approximately 5 years. I have managed 7-figure budgets. I have built relationships with attorneys, accountants, politicians, lobbyists, and members. I know what it takes to negotiate a contract. I learned quickly that on any board, you're only one vote. But that vote can mean everything, so you have to use it wisely. I am a communicator that respects the concept of good compensation for good work. Locally, I'm heavily involved in our district. I'm an assistant coach in both the varsity football and girls basketball programs, and I spent years as a volunteer with Bear Cub and ASO. I've coached the children of some of the board members sitting here today, and there's a board member here that coached me. When I first ran for the school board back in 22, I ran as a person who wanted to see Tri-Valley return to the glory that I remembered from my days here. A place that was friendly and everyone felt welcome and safe. Those remain my top priorities. A safe district where our kids can thrive. I want every kid to have the experience that I had and that my family had and that my children are now having here in this district. There is no better place to raise your children. There is no better school in my eyes than Tri-Valley. Thank you all for your time tonight, and thank you for your service to our community. Any questions?
Tim, if I may, as a former BOE member for 3 years, please describe for us 2 or 3 of your personal goals related to your board service, and what were the results of those goals
Goals of future service or past?
that you've accomplished as a
Okay.
board member, please?
So I remember when we got on the board, there was there's 7 people that ran at that time.
Mhm.
I'm sure most of you guys remember this. It was a circus. It was post-COVID. The schools kind of were all over the place with what the state was doing and what we were doing locally. And one of the big concerns we had at the time was just the coldness of the district, right? And it was like getting into a jailing facility. And we wanted to open that up to some warmth, and we wanted people to feel welcome. And I think we accomplished that. And some of that was just we brought a new superintendent in, some new administrators. I feel like the ship got righted very quickly, and the district started to feel like it felt when I was a kid, which was you come in the front door and it's like coming into a second home. We lost that for a while, whether it was different administrators or not. It didn't feel like the Tri-Valley that I grew up in. So that was a big goal of ours. Hiring local. Did I lose you guys? Hello? Hiring locally. In the past, we moved away from bringing in teachers that graduate from Tri-Valley. And I know this was a big sticking point for George. We found that we were hiring all these people that were traveling long ways to get here. And we trained them, they would be efficient, and then they'd leave to be closer to home. I think we started to make it more of a target or purpose to keep our local talent here. So it's just a couple of things that I think we did pretty well.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Thank you, Tim. So item 1E, we are going to do a ballot vote for the 2 candidates.
We could just put a line through that, score it, and initial it? Okay.
Okay. And now the result. So we have 1 vote for Mr. Tim Diamond from Travis Hartman. We have 1 vote for Ian Constable from Rosewood. We have 1 vote for Tim Diamond from Pat Kelly. We have 1 vote for Ian Constable from Tammy Chakotay. 1 vote for Ian Constable from Jerry Stevens. 1 vote for Tim Diamond from Carrie Ampoli. 1 vote for Ian Constable from Nicole Berkey. And 1 vote for Tim Diamond from George Dean. So that would mean 4 votes each. So now in this case, we can vote again. We can vote up to 3 times before it becomes tabled. So I'm going to pass out a vote again. Three. 33.
We'll be here all night. So Robert's Rules of Order says that we need to revote in public. Our advice from our, both of our attorneys that we've been consulting is do it a few times and then we'll have to table the vote. So she recommended 3.
I'm just thinking of Congress, that's all.
And for the second vote, we have 1 vote for Tim Diamond from Pat Kelly, 1 vote for Ian Constable from Tammy Chibodi, 1 vote for Ian Constable from Rosewood, 1 vote for Tim Diamond from Travis Hartman, 1 vote for Ian Constable from Nicole Berkey, 1 vote for Tim Diamond from Carrie Ann Foley, 1 vote for Ian Constable from Jerry Stevens, and 1 vote for Tim Diamond from George. So again, we are tied. Yeah. For the third vote, we have 1 vote for Ian Constable from Rosewood, 1 vote for Tim Diamond from Pat Kelly, 1 vote for Ian Constable from Tammy Chibodi, 1 vote for Tim Diamond from Travis Hartman, 1 vote for Ian Constable from Nicole Berkey, 1 vote for Tim Diamond from Carrie Ann Foley, 1 vote for Ian Constable from Jerry Stevens, and 1 vote for Tim Diamond from George. So now it is.
So the next step in the process is we now have 90 days. You do as a Board of Education to make a decision and revote. And at that time, if the decision is still tied, it has to go to the district superintendent, who is Michael Knowles, who is the interim district superintendent for Sullivan County BOCES.
And the
So,
90 days started from when Keith resigned. So December 31st.
so before it goes to him, we'll have to vote again.
Who would decide when we vote?
We can vote again at the next meeting. We'll confirm that with NISBA. But we can put the vote out again at the next meeting.
Do we need all board members present to vote?
You need a majority of all members. So as long as you have a quorum.
So we are going to skip to item G, election of Board of Education president. Do we have any nominations?
I nominate Tammy Chibodi.
I nominate George Dean.
Okay, I'm going to pass out these ballots. And now we vote. One vote for George Dean from George Dean. One vote for George Dean from Pat Kelly. One vote for Tammy Chibodi from Rosewood. One vote for Tammy Chibodi from Tammy Chibodi. One vote for George Dean from Travis Hartman. One vote for Tammy Chibodi from Nicole Berkey. One vote for George Dean from Carrie Empoli. And one vote for Tammy Chibodi from Jerry Stevens. So we are tied again. So we're going to vote up to 3 times, but we do have to pick somebody to sit at least as the president, even if we're at a standstill. They would just sit for
Can I ask a clarifying question on that? So we're gonna vote again, and we're gonna vote again. George is our acting vice president, is he not? But that was
It doesn't need to be voted on. George is not the acting vice president right now, so he would have to procedurally, he would have to put his hat back in the ring. So he is not currently the vice president. He read his letter of resignation, and it does not have to be acted upon because we can't force service of a board member.
okay. So my second follow-up question to that is, if we don't select a president tonight, we select a vice president who will then lead our meetings until we find a president, or do we table all future voting until we find a president?
So we
Or
have
elect a
to,
president?
we don't elect a vice president tonight. We go to a pro temp process where we elect a chairman to run tonight's meeting.
Okay, the round 2 votes. One vote for George Dean from George. One vote for George Dean from Pat Kelly. One vote for Tammy Chibodi from Rosewood. One vote for Tammy Chibodi from Chibodi. One vote for George Dean from Travis Hartman. One vote for Tammy Chibodi from Nicole Berkey. One vote for George Dean from Carrie Empoli. And one vote for Tammy Chibodi from Jerry Stevens. They're tie, so here I come again. round 3. 1 vote for Tammy Shaboti from Rosewood. 1 vote for George Dean from Pat Kelly. 1 vote for Tammy Shaboti from Tammy Shaboti. 1 vote for George Dean from Travis Hartman. 1 vote for Tammy Shaboti from Nicole Berkey. 1 vote for George Dean from Carrie Ann Foley. 1 vote for Tammy Shaboti from Jerry Stevens. And 1 vote for George Dean from George Dean. I would like to open up the floor if anybody would like to nominate themselves or somebody else as tonight's chairperson.
I nominate Carrie Foley.
I'll second that.
Come on, Carrie, I don't want to sit here. All in favor of Carrie Ann Foley?
Hi, everyone. So we're going to scooch along the agenda to items 2A, correspondence. There are no items of correspondence tonight. Public comment session for items that are on tonight's agenda. No one has signed in to speak tonight. All right, so presentations and guests. The first presentation is from the PTO.
We're going to talk about some good stuff now. Lighten the mood. Good evening, everybody. Board members, administration, faculty, and community members. For those of you who may not know us personally, we're the Tri-Valley Bears PTO. My name's Nicole Berkey, and I have the privilege of serving as the Tri-Valley Bears PTO president. Joining me this evening are our Vice President Karen Shealy, our Secretary Christy Rubik, our Treasurer Eric Rakoff, and certainly, but last but not least, Dana McCarthy, our Coat Drive Chair. We appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight to share not only what the PTO does, but why we do it. How deeply committed we are to supporting the students, teachers, staff, and families of the Tri-Valley community. At this time, I'd like to turn things over to our Vice President Karen to speak about the additional ways the PTO supports our students throughout the school year.
Thank you, Nicole, and thank you for having us tonight. One of the things that we value most at the PTO is ensuring that every child feels recognized and feels celebrated. One way that we do this is through our monthly birthday cupcake program, where each child, UPK through 4th grade, is honored with a cupcake during their birthday month. It's very simple, but it's meaningful. It's a way for every child to feel special and to be seen. Another important initiative is our school-wide spirit wear. A few years ago, we were able to provide every child with a long-sleeve red shirt, and we offered the opportunity to our staff, our educators, our administrators to purchase those shirts as well. And this year, we are especially proud that we were able to provide a t-shirt to every student, UPK through 6th grade, as well as providing shirts to all of our faculty and staff members who partner with our elementary school and make us who we are. These shirts have been distributed, and we're excited to see all of our students and all of our staff wear them at all of our events and throughout the school. It's a really great way to show a symbol of unity and school pride. So now I'd like to turn it over to our secretary, Christy.
Thank you, Karen. Over the past several years, PTO has created meaningful experiences that bring people together, celebrate our students, and provide direct support to our community. Two of our largest and most impactful events are the Trunk or Treat and the Someone Special Dance. Our Trunk or Treat is hosted right here on campus and has grown into a truly special community tradition. Each year, we welcome more than 1,500 attendees, including trunk hosts and visiting families. In recent years, we've intentionally held this event on the same evening as football games to create kind of a whole school spirit day, and we encourage families to attend both events. It has become something that students and families genuinely look forward to, and as this year's second place winner, myself, my family talks about this event for months on time, planning and preparing, and it's truly something we look forward to. Something else that we do as the PTO is our Someone Special Dance. We held it at the Neversink Firehouse, which kind of creates more of a significant experience for students and their families. It gives them the opportunity to dress up and create lasting memories, memories that they really cherish for years to come. The PTO also supports the book fair in partnership with our own Heather Bennell. She organizes it, and the PTO provides volunteers to staff the event to make sure it runs smoothly and that all students really get an opportunity to participate. I'll now pass things along to our treasurer, Eric Reichoff, who will speak more about our stewardship and the broader impact of these efforts.
Thank you, Christy. Good evening, everybody. I'm Eric. If you're wondering why there's an older guy on a PTO board, I haven't figured it out either. As treasurer, my role is to ensure that every dollar raised by the PTO is used responsibly, transparently, and with purpose. One of the most meaningful ways the PTO supports Tri-Valley is through direct classroom funding. Each school year, every grade level, including the humanities, begins with a $600 PTO fund account. These funds provide teachers with flexibility to address the unique needs of their classroom. For example, a kindergarten teacher might purchase sleds for a winter activity day or instructional material that enhances learning. Teachers submit receipts for reimbursement with approval from the grade level leader, allowing them to focus on teaching while the PTO helps remove financial barriers. In addition to classroom funding, the PTO also offers teacher grants. One well-loved example is the fourth grade falconry presentation. Each year, the fourth grade team submits a grant request to bring in a falconer for a live demonstration, and the PTO is proud to sponsor this engaging, hands-on learning experience that students remember long after it ends. Everything you've heard tonight, from large-scale events to classroom reimbursements, is carefully planned to ensure funds go directly back into supporting students and educators. Whether it's a cupcake, a classroom supply, or a school-wide initiative, every expense is viewed as an investment in our students and the Tri-Valley community. Now I'll have Dana McCarthy, who does the coat drive.
Hi, I'm Dana McCarthy. Beyond events and classroom support, the PTO is also committed to meeting the broader needs of the students and families. One initiative we are especially proud of this year is our PTO Community Coat Drive, held in November during the Parent-Teacher Conference Week. I had the privilege of chairing this effort, and together Nicole and I sent donation letters throughout Sullivan and Ulster County. The response was incredible. Through the generosity of local businesses, families, and community members, many from right here in Tri-Valley community, we raised $6,000. With those funds, Nicole and I personally purchased more than 200 brand new name brand winter coats, which were distributed directly to the students in our district. We're proud to share that over 80% of these coats have already been distributed. Seeing students walk away warm, confident, and cared for was truly meaningful. In addition, we purchased 200 packs of socks, including highly requested Nike socks, along with 100 sets of hats and gloves, ensuring students had everything they needed for the winter months. This initiative truly reflects the heart of our community and the mission of Tri-Valley Bears PTO to step in where help is needed and ensure every child feels supported. Thank you.
In closing, the Tri-Valley Bears PTO is proud to partner with this district. Everything we do is rooted in collaboration with administration, teachers, staff, faculty, and the greater community. While we are a volunteer-based organization, our impact is driven by a shared belief that when we support our schools, we just support our children. Thank you for your time, your continued support, and for allowing us the opportunity to serve the Tri-Valley community. Does anybody have any questions for us?
Let me start off by saying the funds available. Where does that come from?
Direct fundraising. So during the fall, or right around Thanksgiving, we put out our fundraiser. That's the catalog. It's the traditional candles, cookies, wrapping paper. I believe that the income is around $7,000 from that. We've been able to, this year, it really funded the t-shirts, but typically in years past, the $600 would come from there. And most grade levels, we do have to encourage some specific grade levels to use them, but now most of them have gotten in a routine to use them for the same thing year after year. Anybody else?
Do you have it?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Carrie.
I'm just so impressed at what you do because, years and years ago when my kids were in elementary school, we had such a small group and a lot of people sitting around here constantly volunteered. And to see how you guys have taken this organization to the next level and raised so much money and providing coats for the kids in the community, it's really, really very impressive.
Thanks.
Just taken aback with your presentation, honestly.
We're tiny but mighty, and it's not possible without the people behind me. And this is my fourth baby. So.
Just the shirts website are they on, or so we can get prices, sizes, long sleeve, short sleeve?
So we didn't think that far.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you out like
no,
that. I
that's okay.
apologize.
It started as just the kids, and then
Okay.
we were like, well, we have educators and we have support staff and we have faculty. I will get with Karen and we'll get something out to everybody.
Perfect. We definitely make that happen. And how many jackets did you say you gave away? Wow. Oh, purchased. Okay. Thank you. Wow. Awesome. Good
Woodbury
job.
Commons loved us that day.
Good job.
So I'd just like to thank everybody for your time and dedication to our children in the community. It's just amazing what you do and what you offer to our elementary students. Do you have any plans possibly in the future to expand to 7th through 12th?
Great question, and I knew this was coming because it's been asked before. So when you get into the higher level grades of 7th, 8th, so on and so forth, they have their own classroom funding. I do find that the fundraising market is saturated, right? There's only so many fundraisers a child can come home with. And really the way that we support them is through this fundraising. I'm not sure that we have found a way to bring ourselves into it without asking them to fundraise more. It's on our mind though. Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Moving along. The administrative presentation.
Well, Aaron sets us up. Just want to say thank you to the PTO again. It looks like a plain shirt, but it has our slogan, Many Bears, One Den. And when the whole school wears the same shirt, it really truly shows unity. It shows that everyone is tied together and willing to put in the hard work. I don't know if Heather told you, but the Yankees are calling tomorrow, so you may get a call from her next week. But again, thank you for the PTO and everything that they do. So we're going to talk about our teacher college that we're developing here. So we've recently partnered with a few different colleges. One is mainly SUNY New Paltz, and one of the ladies we work with really just said, we're going back and forth with emails. Can you find a placement for this student? I need help with this student. All right around winter break, over winter break. And so I said, we'll try, we'll see. I'll ask the teachers. Miss Eberly told them not to respond to emails over the break. They did not listen very well and emailed me back. But Mr. Haynes, Miss Strati, Mr. Langway, Miss Van Varick, Miss Hamilton, Miss Shanley, Miss Constable, Miss Luzitsky, Miss Ibbison, and Miss Gilio will all be hosting a student teacher or student observer in this upcoming semester. I mean, just a fabulous outreach. It does so many things. One, it lets us highlight what we do here. It helps us show the next generation of teachers the good things Tri-Valley does. What does good education look like? What does a good PLC look like? What does creativity look like in the classroom? And it gives us another set of hands to help our teachers. So now a single classroom with one teacher now has two at the same time. The two in blue, Miss Shannon and Miss Kenny, and then Miss Seeley all had teachers last semester. So we just also wanted to make sure that they were there. So we will have 6 SUNY New Paltz students this year, all in the secondary. One of them is actually one of the teachers that work here who's doing her grad work, and she's going to go up with Miss Luzitsky and Miss Ibbison later on. We have one student from Grand Canyon who also just was an observer last semester, who's now doing her student teaching there. And we're kind of branching out to SUNY Oswego. So we just really wanted to highlight our teachers' efforts to go out of their way to help the next generation, really highlight what good teaching is. And we're very proud of that. And we're very proud that these colleges, once they had 1 or 2 here, they keep calling us back because those students have a very good experience. Yesterday, I went into Miss Trotty's room. I was really kind of crashing a meeting that I thought they were having with just their social studies one, because I needed to ask a couple questions about curriculum. And all the teachers you saw here were around in a circle and talking about their student teachers. How can we get extra meetings for them? How can we support them, not just in my room, but as a collective in our group? How are we going to get them talking? And it was a happy coincidence I happened to walk in. It was not on any purpose, but those are what our teachers do. They go that extra step to really help enhance not only our kids, but these other students from colleges in the future. The picture on the bottom I put in there just to remind myself, iReady second diagnostic is happening. I was in the hallway and Miss Smith and Miss Shamrow came up and said, our kids did so well on reading. Can you come in and say something nice to them? Can you encourage them? We're doing math next week. Can you just tell them to work hard? I said, sure. They don't really want to hear from me. But with Miss Williams, we have this Plory. We have someone really fun to come in with second graders. She got him right away the next day. We went in, we had a great talk with them. The kids got to come up and high-five them. Kids were talking about their growth, 50 points, 100 points, and they knew it, and they were proud. You could see they were proud. Their teachers are smiling ear to ear. It's just showing the hard work, that unity, that community coming together is starting to show some merit. Any questions?
I have one. The student teachers that are coming in, are any of them Tri-Valley graduates?
I do not believe so. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So I just want to give you a little update from the PPS department. Health screenings have started. We have the health screenings every year for certain grade levels. That's all posted on the website and Facebook in case parents need to check in and see which grade levels are being screened this year. The screenings are really vital to student success, ensuring that they are healthy and ready to learn. We are fortunate to have Diana Gray come in and partner with us. As a former nurse, she supports the nursing team so that they are able to focus on the day-to-day operations of the nursing office while she does the screenings for the students. So it's very nice for her to come back and help us out in that way. And that's really all we have right now, except for starting annual review season. So it's a very busy time. Any questions? All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
As Mr. Snyder with the iReady exam coming around, we had the opportunity to utilize our mascot costume. And as exciting as it is for the elementary school students to see that costume coming down the hallway, it is just as exciting to put the student in it. And as you can also see in that picture, he does not come alone. He does have some of his friends that will come down with him. Of course, this is not an instructional period. We try to stay away from the instructional periods in order to have the students come and celebrate the elementary school and their success of that iReady assessment. You also will see some of the interactions that are taking place between our secondary school students and our elementary kids. It's really amazing to have some of the students interact with the younger children. In fact, we have one student who has now decided that she wants to go into early childhood after engaging with some of the elementary school students who are visiting and while she's interacting with him. So that's an exciting opportunity for our students who may still be undecided as to what their future would look like, and we're helping to define that. Besides, of course, some of our students who may actually go into professional mascotting. All of that being said, we're looking at our community relations area of the MTSS department. We have our Winter Bear Bash in full swing of operation. So it keeps continuing to grow bigger. As of this afternoon, we had 140 RSVPs already. So we are expecting quite a community joining on this evening. We do have the snow date of February 5th. And I did just want to make a quick commercial because we're going to be inside. Our Bear Bash indoors is going to look a little bit different than outdoors. So our typical community partners that we would see during our summer Bear Bash will not necessarily be part of our winter Bear Bash. Instead, because we were limited on space and we wanted to be sure that there was enough time for our families to be able to do all of the activities that are prepared, we're going to really be focusing on having county representatives here. So I just wanted to be sure that none of our other local partners feel as though they were left out. It was kind of deliberate in that we were utilizing this indoor space. We wanted to be very particular to offer something a little bit different as we would be inside. So we will be highlighting 9 Solomon County partners that will be coming in that evening. We do have some important ones though that we continue to have, which is our Lion C program. So the Lions will be here that evening to be able to do some of the vision screening on students. It is oftentimes missed for the secondary students to have the opportunity to have their vision checked. So this will be another opportunity to get them in here. But I did just wanted to say, just in case there's any rumbles within our community, we really wanted to be able to maximize the time we have with our families, be sure that the students have an opportunity to engage in fun activities, and also open it up to some bigger county community partners. We'll bring all of our local people back in when we have more space outside for our summer Bear Bash. Moving on to our social emotional learning, we have our upcoming Panorama survey that is in publishing right now through our Panorama Student Success platform. As soon as that survey is created, we will get notifications out so that we can be sure that we get maximum participation. Every time we put the survey out, we get a little bit better with our students completing it. And it really has been very important, as I've talked about, it's with some of our SEL PLCs, as we continue to have our MTSS intervention team meetings on students, to be able to compare and be able to read and get some insight into how they are actually operating, how they're feeling about themselves as a student in their classrooms. And finally, our attendance comparisons this week. The expectation, I have to increase our meeting time. I scheduled elementary school for about 40 minutes, secondary school for 40 minutes, and we ended up in that room digging through attendance for over 2 hours this week. Luckily, secondary school administration was able to stay with us most of that time. But there are some comparisons there. That is from, those numbers were run from last September to January versus this September to January. You'll see we're still kind of in the same area. The positives to that is we're not dipping low, but there's a lot of work and conversations going into it. So there are just some comparison numbers. You know, I really give a lot of credit to the elementary school. They're doing a lot of focus on attendance, and we continue to try to see what we can do to encourage our secondary school students to be present. As we sit in those meetings, we identify particular families, particular students. We're able to see some cross-reference between elementary students and secondary siblings, and we're certainly doing everything that we can to be sure that we're supporting the families so that we can continue to see those numbers grow. But we are charting them, we're paying very close attention to it, and again, those attendance meetings are bi-weekly. So I think as we continue to look at some of that evidence, some of that data, get some support in it for the families, I'm pretty hopeful that those numbers will continue to go the right direction. Any questions?
In reference to attendance, does it seem to be grade level or individuals, both the elementary and the high school?
No, so as I run those numbers, it's interesting because we look at the charting. So when we compare last year, if we identify a particular grade level, for example, last year our UPK may have had a higher percentage of absences. Those students this year are kindergarteners. The pattern is not consistent. So as I continue to study this, I'm looking to see, okay, is it this cohort of kids from UPK to K that continue to have a number of absences? It's shifting on me. I was hoping it was that easy, because then we could just dive in to a particular cohort of kids and support that particular class. It is not panning out that way. So that's why we're having to spend so much time actually digging into individual students and these lists of students who are accruing absences, because there is no consistent pattern from year to year where we can say our 4th grade last year is our 5th grade this year, and each year they are our biggest absentee rate. It is not working out that way, but we'll continue to study it and see if we can't, in fact, find a pattern.
Is UPK higher percentage-wise than any place else?
You know, generally, as we look at those numbers, we expect our younger students, as they
That's
come
right.
into school, you know, as they get exposed to all of these germs, we expect them to have a higher absence rate. Again, from one year to the next, 1 year UPK will have a higher percentage, but then we look at it the next year, new coming UPK, they may not be so high. So then we're looking at, okay, well, is one, for example, UPK class, are they being exposed to more daycare opportunities or more socialization? So then when they come into our UPK program, they've already got some immune system built up. But these are all really great questions and great things, but unfortunately, that takes a period of time of study to try to figure these things out. So right now, our best approach, and certainly as I said, the administration's been right there with me, our best approach is to look at individual students, individual families, and target them specifically until we can see more of the trends. And I don't know that if there was a particular answer, I'm sure some school out there, if we can't find it out, they will have. But it's certainly a mission of ours to really try to identify what it is or what cohort it is right now and needs more studying.
In reference to the high school, is it after-school activities, kids that do the extra? Do you find that they're the ones that are absent more? The reason I ask that is because they're in at night, all hours of the night. So is that taken into consideration, or is that just a blanket policy that you're out?
No,
After 11 o'clock, correct?
I think the bus just rolled in a few minutes ago while we were in this.
Well,
Board of
that's
Education
what I'm
meeting.
talking about.
Yes, so I can tell you, George, to answer your question, Mr. Crudelli sits in on these attendance meetings. And there was one student athlete that was on our list of students who were accruing absences. So out of all of our winter season athletes, there was only one student that in particular, Mr. Crudelli is identifying as a student to support, because we need to make sure that he's in school to maintain his eligibility to be able to maintain his participation in his athletic competition. So whatever that says to you, that is the evidence for it. Sure. Anybody else?
I have a question. And I don't know if you're the right person to answer this or not, but when you brought up that one student, because of her engagement in the elementary school, is now interested in childhood education, it got me curious. Do our secondary students take testing to help them decide what might be the best fit for them career-wise?
I don't know that I am the right person to answer that question. But I would think so. I would hope so. I imagine Miss Eberly, who's going to be coming up soon, will probably tell you yes. But what I will say to that is most of our students don't know what they want to do until they experience it. You know, just like as we look at that mascot and the students who are engaging inside of that, they were students who really did not have an area of focus. You ask them what they wanted to do, they would say, I don't know. Well, what do you like? I don't know. Well, what do you do? I don't know. And that would just be the perpetual answer. So, you know, really for me, I think it's a matter of whatever Miss Eberly's answer is, and then getting them that hands-on experience. You know, a lot of the CDOS opportunities that are offered through Miss Hugler's program is essential to our kids to be able to really make an informed decision. How many students go to college for one major and switch right after, and then the parents are stuck trying to now compensate for that 1 year of lost tuition because now they're trying to select a different major. So I would just encourage us to continue to, whatever the students say that they like, to try to expose them to that so they can make an informed decision if that is an area for them for their future. Okay, all right, thank you. Beverly, make sure you answer that.
Good evening, everyone. So a quick update on the technology department. We made it through another holiday season, which is no small achievement for our department. As I've mentioned before, cyber criminals will specifically target school districts during holiday seasons because they know that IT staff are either at home or off traveling with family, so our ability to respond to attacks is that much less. So it really becomes a prime target period for them. And we always see a spike on attacks in schools during those periods. As a result, several years ago, we really started focusing in the month prior to any significant break, making sure that every single system that we run was fully patched, every single security patch that was available for it was on there. And then also this year, we started going through and making sure, kind of served two purposes, making sure any system that didn't need to be running during break was shut down. And in addition to that, making us more secure because it makes our attack surface smaller. It also, of course, is better stewardship of resources, making sure we're not wasting electricity running equipment that doesn't need to run during the break. We are beginning work on internal development of some apps, and you will definitely hear more about this in the months and probably years to come. We are, in conjunction with our digital arts teacher, we are working on a staff resources app that will make the various resources that we offer throughout the school that much easier for our staff members, for our teachers to access. And we are also working on, and this is kind of a huge undertaking, but we're really excited about it, an electronic hall pass solution. So we've looked at electronic hall pass solutions for the secondary a few times over the past couple of years, and without exception, they are pretty expensive. This will basically allow us to not only accomplish exactly what those solutions offer, but have it specifically tailored to Tri-Valley. It will do everything that we want it to do, not what some other company that built it wanted it to do. And it will be completely free with the exception of the time that we spend on it. So that's a significant cost savings for the school district. We've also I'm hoping by the end of next week to be complete with an implementation of new software that will allow our staff to change their own passwords, but in a way that runs it through filtering to make sure that passwords they choose match all of the rules that we have in place for those passwords. And another big kind of win with that software is it will run through on a daily basis and check every single password that we have to make sure that that password isn't showing up in lists of hacked passwords online. So if that ever occurs, whether it's because someone violated internal policy and they are using the same password here that they were using at Target and Target got hacked, or whether that's just because they chose a password that somebody else out in the world was using and that person got hacked. In either case, our staff member will be immediately alerted the next time they log in and forced to change their password. So it really just improves our security that much farther. Speaking of security, one thing that's not bullet pointed up here, but Mr. Snyder reminded me of with his slide, with all of our inbound student teachers, we are also next week, the day that they come in, before they receive their accounts, they receive the same information security training that every single one of our staff receive at the beginning of the school year. And that's something really unique to Tri-Valley. And it really kind of underscores how seriously we take the security of our students' data and the protection of all of the data we have, student data, staff data, and everything. Other school districts will have beginning of the year trainings, and then if they have staff or student teachers or long-term leave replacements that come in the middle of the year, they'll never receive that information security training unless they're there at the beginning of the next school year, which is really a significant hole because you don't want somebody who doesn't know the right procedures to follow to be safe using your network. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. So before I answer your question, because I can loop that in along here, I'll just start with our January regents and midterms. I just want to give a huge shout out. The community might not realize all the effort and work that goes into what our January regents look like, and some decisions that were made this year as we shifted from a 9 through 12 model of just reporting for exams. So just some background, in January of last year, we realized we had a lot of accommodations and some room changes and some major events that we were kind of all hands on deck. Administrators were proctoring in their offices and we were moving a lot of pieces, and it was very hard to give the students the best practice for taking an exam. So this year we shifted to that model and it worked really well. Just so you know, our numbers in January, a lot of people think those numbers are down, but our student population taking that was about half for at least 2 of those days in the 9 through 12 population. So we do have a lot of students that report for those exams, and to give them the best testing practices, it really was super helpful this year. Over half of our staff also participate in proctoring these exams. So on a given day, those 9 through 12 teachers, there was 28 of them proctoring during an exam, and that would have been a substitute nightmare and really not giving our students, again, those best practices. So shutting down and really letting those students have that testing time and all the accommodations that they need and making sure they have the best testing environment with the best proctors is what's best for them to have success. So that movement really we saw success in. We were able to host some midterms and have those happening and occurring, and teachers were able to kind of really give it their all, make sure every student had their needed accessories and needed items, and we were able to really run a kind of flawless time frame for that. So that really did take a lot of work and a lot of behind the scenes that I don't think people realize, and it was super successful. So we are wrapping that up with tomorrow with our morning exams, and then we will wrap up our grading and get those exams out and those scores. And that's another thing I should give a huge shout out to our staff and our teachers. We grade a lot of our regents in-house, and that is huge. And we share grading also with Liberty Central and Monticello, which allows us to save a lot of money as a district. Instead of sending our exams out through companies and private agencies, we grade in-house. So our staff sit there for hours on end and they grade these exams, and there's a lot of work in that and a lot of collaboration. So being able to shut down and giving the teachers the time to do that so we can get scores back in timely manner is also a huge component of that. Our iReady diagnostic, we're not as fun, I guess, in the middle school. I learned a lot about Plori. I think our students are like, who is this alien and what are they doing? So we don't have Plori up in our building, but we do the iReady diagnostic in grades 7 and 8. And that really is helpful information that we analyze throughout the year. We look at our trends, we look at those missing pieces that we need to really exhaust and kind of all hands on deck. And it's a helpful tool for our teachers that our secondary staff are now really starting to tap into and notice it helping and working. So that has just finished up as well this week. And our middle school grades were able to do that during this Regents Week, which was a little bit quieter in the building. And again, giving those best practices. Our graduate panel. So we hosted a graduate panel, and this is where I'll kind of tie in some of those questions about what students are doing, where they're going. We're seeing more and more students not knowing what they want to do. Where are they going? They're kind of like, I don't have to worry about it. I'm still here. I'm still living at home. I don't have any plans. So we are really focusing and shifting. And one of the events that we hosted this year was a graduate panel. So we had 7 past graduates come in, and it was an awesome experience. We had our 11th and 12th graders kind of sit around. They did a Q&A. We kind of had a panel going. We asked some questions, and it was really interesting to hear some of those answers. We also had a student who was here that went straight into the workforce. And that was cool for students to hear that that is also an option, and it's a viable option, and it's something that you can absolutely do. And she really highlighted the experiences that gave her the leg up in the workforce. So taking courses that were aligned with her interests, like she took a lot of FACS classes. She's now a chef at Bethel Woods. So what she did was she took our classes with Miss Gonzalez, and she really experienced all of that. She went to Career Tech. She experienced that through the food and nutrition program there, and that led her into the career and workforce. So that she was a really great speaker in letting our students know that's okay too, and that's an awesome experience, and this is what she did to be the leg up in the workforce. We had students who also highlighted, this was interesting, different schools have different rules on parking, which is a huge thing as freshmen. apparently. And a lot of them said if you take college courses and you have college credits, you move up in the ranks of parking and dorms. So that was something that all the students were like, what are you talking about? So basically, because they go in with so many college credits, they're moved up the ranks and they get to pick better dorms and they get to have parking that first year. So a lot of our students kind of perked up in that. And there was a lot of shout outs to our staff. They were telling them, take these classes, do what you can, experience them, because it has helped them immensely in college. So that was an awesome thing to hear. Again, bringing that real life connection. A lot of them still communicate with some of our students, and them being able to hear firsthand, like, after graduation, this is what I went through. This is what was helpful. This is what was scary. And that was really cool. So that was an awesome event that helped lead our students a little bit further. And I'm going to skip and go to the elective fair because this is another initiative that we're doing this year. So we're doing an elective fair for our 9, 10, and 11th graders on Monday, maybe, or the next day. I don't know. So we are doing this elective fair with over 50 electives in this school, which is, again, a huge testament. It's a small school, and we offer so much here. And those are all aligned with interests and things that can happen after high school. Students are getting that firsthand experience. They're going to get to travel to classrooms. They're going to get to hear from the teachers that teach those courses what they are about. We did a lot of work last year on updating our course catalog, getting that more public facing. It's now on our website so everyone can view those. And we're doing this elective fair so now they can have that firsthand experience on seeing, hey, maybe I want to take this class. Maybe I'm interested in cooking and going further with that career. This I'm going to do and see if I want to maybe make a decision as I work on my pathway to graduation and where I want to go from here. So that elective fair is another initiative we're doing to get kids kind of seeing what they might want to do, what their interests are. And they'll have a little survey sheet that they'll get to go through. And what happens is when kids come to that course selection towards the end of year, they'll have that firsthand experience. Instead of just reading that paragraph on the paper or the guidance counselor saying, hey, this is a good course for you, now they're seeing it. Because what happens is they go into guidance and that's where they discuss, they do surveys, they discuss, hey, I think I want to do this, or I have no idea what I want to do. This college might be of interest. I want to just get away from here, or I want to stay close to home. And the college and the counselors really guide that. So that's something now we're adding an additional layer to really give them what we have on a hands-on experience. The other pieces that we're doing is we've upped our college visits, we've upped our recruiters, and we've upped college visits out of our school. So we're doing a lot more field trips, we're doing a lot more presentations, and we have a lot of colleges that come here that have never done that before. So that is another big piece that is helping guide our students and show them what is outside of Sullivan County. I don't know if you've heard Mr. Snyder talk before, but we do those virtual reality tours as well. We've hooked that up with our students and given them those virtual reality tours of college campuses and campuses they would have never had the experience to see or travel to. So we're doing a lot of that work and giving them more experiences and really kind of highlighting and helping them understand these are some options for you. And this is what we have here to help guide you to that pathway. So you can make that decision before you sat in college for 4 years and totally change your career. So that is an exciting thing that we are doing, some things that we're adding and really giving to our students. We also had our MLK Youth Summit that occurred, and you can see that picture up there. Sullivan County Schools participate in this through Sullivan 180. We sent 10 students. They work on public presentations. They were able to meet and greet with a bunch of students. They had a keynote speaker on leadership. And it's a really great experience that we have started doing last year and getting more involved with the Sullivan County Schools and really putting our school out there and our students because they're fantastic. I'm a little biased, but they go out there and they put themselves out there against bigger schools, and they're amazing. And it's really great to see them participating in these events. Sullivan BOCES CTE visitation. So we send our 10th graders to CTE to visit the programs that are there. We offer this to all of our 10th graders. So all of our 10th graders have the opportunity to go hands-on, see the programs that are offered at CTE at BOCES. We bus them there during the day. They get to visit all the programs. They get to fill out a questionnaire. If they like those programs, they can go back a second time. We'll bus them there again. They'll get those experiences because that's an opportunity they have when they hit 11th grade. So that's another thing that we do and allow them to go see so they can get ideas of what might be interesting. Sometimes it's different when you get to see a car up on a lift and understand what you're going to get to do if you go there. It's a whole nother realm. So we get to send our students there, our 10th graders, anyone that's interested, and they're going to be going on the 12th, pending weather. PLCs are continuing our professional learning communities. We're continuing our mapping. We've started some vertical alignment with grades 5 through 8. I believe Mr. Carbone will touch on this as well. And that just started. We had a few delays with the weather, but our 5 through 8 are now meeting and starting to really look at the collaboration pieces and building our programs so that way we are in line with each other and really talking and being able to look at our curriculum pieces, looking at those gaps, looking at what's going well, and sharing those across our buildings. We are lucky here to be connected and be able to have that opportunity. So really pulling that back together and letting those teachers connect on what's happening is going to be a successful tool to keep building those students and keep pushing them further. So those have just begun and we're super excited about that and moving forward. Any questions?
You mentioned the testing in regards to sending it out. Where did we used to send it to? Who used to do the testing, the correction?
So our teachers here have done that in past. So we've always had to share with Liberty and Monticello for our science programs because the teachers that teach those classes can't grade their students, obviously. So because we're smaller, we don't have those staff, and either do those other districts. So we partner for like chemistry, physics, those really singular classes. They have sent out, we use BOCES, we use our RIC, but we use Premier scoring. So Premier scoring is something that all of the school districts will partner out. So our multi-language tests get sent out through Premier, and other districts have to partner with Premier because they don't grade in-house, and we do. So other districts are sending out hundreds of exams, where we're sending out a minimal amount, which makes our turnover quicker and it's much cheaper.
When you used to send them out, what was the turnaround time?
It takes, we do send some out, and it takes a couple of weeks. So it takes approximately 2 weeks, because by the time you ship them, which thankful for the minivan, because today I delivered some exams to go out. So once you get them to BOCES, then BOCES sends all of the districts at once. So hopefully all the districts have brought their exams at the time they requested. Then they send them up to Premier, which is in Albany. We have to give them the account that we're sending in. Then they score them. Then they send them all back to us. Then we scan them. So it takes about 2.5 week turnaround. Or in-house, I mean, I can tell you right now, our English are already graded and done. So they'll scan them in and those grades will process through.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Ms. Everly, adding
Yes.
to the information that you gave, with the college visits and the college fairs that have been happening at Tri-Valley, I've attended a few of them, for example, the Marist one. It really does help, and I've noticed with the students, I even asked them, I've noticed it helps just walking around the colleges and seeing the different types of majors has helped them figure out more of what majors they want to do. And also, any student at any time could always walk into the guidance office where they give the student like tests and quizzes to help them figure out what major they want to do, and they give really good guidance. I've went there a couple of times as well, and they've helped me dwindle down the types of majors that I'd take or the types of colleges I go to. And also the MLK Day was great. I'm in the top left corner. It was very fun.
Huge shout out. I see you there.
Thank
Good.
you.
Glad to hear. And something, I mean, those college visits have also hindered some students' decision making. I do know that, because they're like, oh no, I've got my decision. And then they go on a college visit and they're like, oh, maybe I want to go here. So I know that also adds to it, but we're constantly supporting, we're constantly asking. It's Mr. Snyder's favorite question when he pops into my office and I have a group of students, where are you going to college? And they're like, I haven't decided yet. And he gives them a timeline. So it's really great. But we're doing so much more. We're sending kids out, because really, without that experience, you might not be traveling, but it's also cool to stay here. So we've done a lot with SUNY Sullivan. We send our kids to SUNY Sullivan to visit, and we do an actual college fair at SUNY Sullivan. That was something they did this year, and they brought in different colleges to that campus, which is right in our backyard. And we were able to send a ton of students there to kind of visit, walk around, and see those other colleges. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you to the PTO. Our elementary school runs with the spirit that they give us. It is really a great partnership, and I'm very happy to be able to work with them. And we love Lori. I'm sorry, the high school doesn't really quite get it, but it's like a rock star. Beatles showing up to America, U2 showing up. I mean, when they're in the hallway with the bear, the kids can't stop. It's fantastic, but they're very appropriate about it. They don't give hugs unless they're asked or told to. They give high fives and fist bumps. It's really cool. Our iReady window did open up last week. We close on Friday. I know we touched on that a little bit. Our teachers have done a great job prescribing the test to the students and giving them 30 minutes at a time, 15 minutes at a time, depending on how old they are. And really, if you start looking at it, and we've pieced a little bit together because not everybody's finished yet, the growth is just encouraging to see. We're looking at some good numbers, and when everything finalizes, I believe next week there's some PD for some teachers to analyze some of the scores and see what the next steps would be in their instruction. We are working on our heart awareness for the month of January. We're leading right up into Valentine's Day. Sullivan 180 sponsors the Healthy Heart Challenge. It's a little competition between all the school districts in Sullivan County. So we're entered. Mr. Cordelli was very nice to put us into the hat, and I jumped on creating a calendar so all the teachers have little activities throughout every single day to just bring heart awareness to our children. And we've encouraged them, if there's anything else that they do, like little brain breaks or movement breaks throughout the day, to put me and Mr. Cordelli on that email so that we can add that to our point tally. The school and I believe the district with the most points in the elementary category and the high school category will win a prize. So I've got my eyes set on a few things. Hopefully we get there. And Fridays will be wear red in that spirit of heart awareness. So it's cool to get our kids to understand what's pumping inside their body and how it all works. And as Ms. Everly brought up, we are working on our vertical PLCs. I'm lucky to be leading and facilitating with the science and the social studies department between 5th through 8th grade. We just had our initial meetings, and we'll start jumping into our curriculum, our scope and sequence, and really making sure that those gaps are filled and those overlaps are minimized. We want to make sure that the elementary school is supporting what's happening in the 7th and 8th grade middle school component, and we're really partnering with the teachers. And the rest of the schools working on the priority standards. I was in a grade level today with some really great discussion. It's awesome when the administrator can kind of lay back and kind of hide back into the weeds while the teachers are really engrossing themselves in the conversation and really looking at what the state test data is showing them for what standards they're being assessed. It's really making them think about how much effort they're putting into that specific standard or that specific unit, especially if the test is only asking one question as opposed to 5 or 6. And it's good work to hear. It's encouraging, again, to just be part of. And we're looking forward to seeing how those priority standards scope out to see how far the teachers can be pushing the limits of what they're doing. Any questions? Sure.
So correct me if I'm wrong, iReady testing replaced the MAPS testing.
Correct.
Have we gotten any feedback from our teachers on if they like this better, if it's working for them, how are the children taking to it? Are the tests longer?
So it's an apple and an orange.
Okay.
NWEA map testing had a very prescriptive way of administration, and the teachers we started last year trying to administer it that way. And iReady doesn't want everybody to test all at one time in one big chunk. They want the kids to take breaks. Kindergarten, first grade, they're about 5 to 15 minutes. They hit a certain benchmark where it pauses the kids to give them a break. Everything should shut down and they should go back to it later or the next day. Where in MAPS, they sat there and they finished taking the test. The analytical component of it, it breaks it down similarly. Some teachers are used to the NWA, so they liked how that breakdown was. And with the training and the encouragement that we're giving them from our administrative side, they're seeing how their lessons can now be catered to what the students are showing on that iReady test. So if you pull it, it's split. Some teachers really love it. Other teachers like it, but say, well, back when we did MAPS. So it's really kind of getting that shift going. But with the professional development, with the MyPath that the kids are learning in the 15 minutes that they do it a day in their win period or in their instructional time, they're starting to see the continuity.
one other thing.
Mhm.
I heard a little group of fifth grade girls once, a couple weeks ago, talking about their independent reading project and how, well, they don't like it, but they have to get used to it because it's an expectation when they get into high school. So whatever that the PLC group work is,
Mhm.
setting the stage throughout the fifth through eighth grade, it's working.
Yes.
They know the expectation. So kudos.
Yeah, putting the right people in the right seats on the bus is important to us. So getting that continuity through is huge. I met with our seventh grade, eighth grade science, our social studies teacher, and our fifth and sixth grade social studies teacher today, and before I could even start the PLC, they were already starting to look at what's being taught when and how it's going to make an impact when they get into seventh grade. So it's good work that the teachers are seemingly excited to do.
In reference to the testing, the faculty, some of them like one and some of them like the other.
Mhm.
Which is the most successful for the students?
In my opinion, from my history, I've been doing iReady for just about 10 years since I've been in administration.
That gives them the break.
I like iReady.
I can see that because they're very antsy at that age.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sure
then
we all
the
know.
kids respond to it. They're checking their growth. They're seeing, as Mr. Snyder said, they're paying attention. They're having data talks with their teachers that are showing them, hey, you were here, now you are here, and they're amazing. We have a special ed teacher in fifth and sixth grade whose students performed very well, and the work that she put in to show them, they felt the pride in it. Where the NWEA, from what I experienced when I taught and what I heard from a few people here, it was more programmatic, and they just did it to do it, and they moved on. Where iReady is more of a culture building type of system.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay, great. Have a good night.
All right, hello everybody. I'm going to go a little out of order so I can piggyback off of Mr. Carbone. So Sullivan 180 has the Heartathon and Healthy Heart Challenge. Like he said, we have a schedule of events down the ES. I got to be honest, sports guy, there's nothing little about this competition. We want to win. So ES is competing against other ESs in the county. Same with secondary. So we have the Heartathon, which hearts are supplied by Sullivan 180. They all goes to a donation for the prevention education for heart disease in Sullivan County. I got to give a shout out to Miss Lee. I think she came to me at probably 1 o'clock today and was like, I really want to do a billboard that relates to it. I'm like, absolutely, that gets us points. It felt like 5 minutes later, I walked down the main hall upstairs and there are hearts everywhere. It's incredible. It completely transformed the hallway. So we have our staff on board. Every little thing gets us a point. So whether it's an activity in a classroom, like Wear Red Day, selling the hearts, we're buying in. We want to win. The other thing is going on. We have the community cardio weight room is open. It's a little, I'm going to call it an upgrade, a little change this year. We have an electronic sign in, which really helps me. So it's letting us know who signed in, when, really telling us when it's being used, and when the busy times are versus the not so busy times. If it keeps feeling like -20 out, I'm feeling it's going to be used a lot. We also have our salad bar was delivered. Will be set up shortly in the cafeteria along with the refrigerator. And finally, we have 3 Sullivan 180 grants in for review. They involve social emotional learning, outdoor classrooms, Leader and Me. So there's one in the ES, one in the secondary, and one district-wide. So Ms. Temple, Ms. Hugler, myself, and Mr. Snyder have been working on all of those. We're getting feedback from Sullivan 180, making edits. It's quite the process, but we're getting close to the review time and should be hearing back shortly. So now to the athletics side of things, we have our senior rec dates coming up. Don't feel like you have to jot those dates down right now because A, it won't stop snowing, and B, there is a graphic on all of the athletics social media and the athletics tab of the website that has it all listed out. One thing I did not add to the graphic that I probably should have was pending weather. But it has the link to the live stream, the link to our schedules and the individual senior rec dates. Also, we have obviously a ton of important sectional dates coming up. The basketball one, that's when it could start. It depends on how many teams get in. That's both for boys and girls basketball, so it could start on 2/28. Obviously, we gotta wait for a ton of results to determine when we would start that. But we have really every sport coming up, starting with indoor track on 1:30. The other really important dates, there'll be a parent square going out as we get closer to it. It's almost time to sign up for spring sports, just in time for a foot of snow. So 2/9, our JV varsity sports registration will open on Arbiter, and on 2/16, we'll be opening for our modified sports. Any questions?
I see the salad bar has been delivered. Is it being used?
It's getting set up very shortly. So it was delivered last week, I believe.
Well, pretty soon we'll be using. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Another thing is, I see on the menu, milk, 1%. I thought that we could do whole milk, 2% now. This is 1% milk.
So we can't, under the USDA guidelines, we can't do that. We have to offer at least 2 choices of milk. And when I'll highlight the menus a little bit tonight too, because we were not offering 2 choices of milk at meals and now we are, but they have to be either fat-free or 1%.
I was under the impression it was changed.
Not completely yet. I'm with you on that.
I'm a little biased.
I agree with you.
Still alive.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
I have one quick question. How are our athletic teams looking for sectionals?
So,
Strong, or I hope?
believe it or not, every team is still mathematically eligible to make sectionals.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
part of that is due to the weather. Like your league games get moved. You got to bump non-league to fill those. But right now, we look pretty strong. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Administration, we always enjoy having your updates and hearing what's going on along in our district. Next up is our capital budget component presentation by Superintendent Long.
All right, that was a hard show to follow. That was excellent, everyone. Thank you for all your updates. So I am here tonight to present the capital component of our 26-27 school budget. I want to start tonight with our purpose and our direction. And as you know, over the last couple years, we have been working on improving our mission and our vision here at Tri-Valley. And throughout the next couple months in our presentations, I want to be really clear that our decision-making is always rooted in our kids and what's best for our kids in our school community. So just quickly, our mission is that Tri-Valley ensures all learners are prepared for the future through meaningful learning that builds curiosity, resilience, and confidence. And our vision is where Tri-Valley aspires to be a forward-thinking school community that ensures excellence and empowers all learners to thrive. So here's a quick breakdown of what's going to happen over the next couple of months. Tonight, we're going to talk about the capital component. We're going to go into the administrative component of the budget on February 12th, the program component on February 26th, and then on March 12th, we'll do a full overview of the board of our budget. We'll review the contingency budget, our revenues, and our tax cap. So into the capital component. These are what we're going to be going over tonight and the drivers for our capital component section. It is all about facilities and operation and our debt service. So we'll be digging in a little bit into our custodial and maintenance salaries and benefits, our security systems, our fuel, oil, and electricity, and then taking a quick snapshot at our maintenance supplies, equipment, and our service contracts. Feel free to ask any questions along the way. So for tonight, the first one is our proposed salaries, and we are predicting a 2.54% increase in our salaries. And this is really great because it means that we settled and implemented a 4-year contract with our TESA unit. And so we are able to truly figure out what our budget's going to look like for the next 4 years in our TESA area. So we're doing a 2.54% overall increase. That is because of contractual salaries. One of the things we did very well with, and you'll see that through this entire presentation, is just looking at our efficiencies. So this year we had one of our monitors who retired from the district. We came together, we looked at the duties of the monitor, and we tried to figure out if it was feasible for us to replace the duties of that monitor using our current staff, and we found that it was. One thing about the monitors, you know, they've been around the red shirts for a long time, very historical. The monitors are truly very restricted in what they can do based on their civil service job description. So where we might want to put the monitor in the bear den to watch our kids when they're in there, they really can't supervise kids at that level. And so we were able to kind of put together with our own staff and made the decision not to replace the monitor position, but still maintaining the same level of coverage. We also are in the process of some leadership transition with our director of facilities retiring, Jesse. Definitely some hard shoes to fill. We have the application is out for folks. We're looking for people that are interested in joining us, and we'll begin that process of interviewing very soon. Our goal is between January and June to bring in someone as director of facilities to work side by side with Jesse, but also to be a working part of the maintenance crew so they can learn the ropes. And then in June and July, when Jesse steps away from the district, our plan is to hire an additional maintenance worker. The maintenance crews and the custodial staff are what keep this place running. Our campus is pristine inside and out, and we don't want to compromise any of that. Our benefits. So our benefits are overall increasing about 5.48%. The New York State retirement system is increasing their contribution at 17.6%, and that comes directly from the state. That's one of those ones that is out of our hands. We are going to budget 14% for our health insurance across the board. Last year, we put out a 10% health insurance budget, and when the rates came out in early December, they came out at 8.9. That's cutting it a little close. So we decided to go out at 14%, and for us in Monticello, we share the same health insurance carrier. The rest of our component schools do their insurance through DCMO BOCES, through DHIC, and even talking to some of our colleagues in the area, some insurances went up 16, 18%, some, 8, 9%. And so we felt 14 was a very safe number for us. We don't want to get hit with an unknown on the health insurance increase because that's a major part of our budget for both our retirees and our employees. So our workman's comp also went up a little bit, and this is really because we took a deep, hard analysis into our workman's comp program. We are part of a Sullivan County consortium, which is over probably 35, 40 years old. And it was developed many years ago because to get the state workman's comp rate, which would be very, very expensive, so the Sullivan County schools created their own consortium so that they can monitor, have the money in there, and then cover the workman's comp. So for us, when we did the analysis, like I said, we realized that really the lion's share of the work and the workman's comp as far as risk is our custodial and maintenance staff. I'm less at risk sitting at my desk than I am on a lawnmower. And so we did some reallocating of those budgets, and we did put some more money in our workman's comp under our capital component. So our district safety and security operations is a super proud point for all of us. We are projecting a decrease of over 6.49% next year without compromising any of the safety that's happening here around our campus. Part of this is because our security supervisor left for another opportunity and again brought the team together and said, what can we do can we fill these responsibilities without replacing this? And the answer was yes. I have to give a shout out to Nick Field, who is one of our Atlas guys. He was a rookie when he started with us. He was well broken in by some of our administrators back in the day, and he is our lead guard. So he is the liaison between Tri-Valley and Atlas. So he worked with us early in the summer and said, can I redo the schedule? And we said yes. And so he has created a daytime and a nighttime schedule that keeps the same amount of security guards moving around the building, outside of the around the outside of the campus all day long. And the same thing happens in the evening. You can see Ed right now patrolling as we're in our meeting this evening. What's been excellent about this also, he handles all the payroll, and he has found some serious deductions are located through his scheduling in overtime. So last year, for the 24-25 school year, we paid Atlas 320.25 hours in overtime. So if you look at prevailing wage plus time and a half, that's pretty expensive. So far this year, we have logged 46 hours, 0.25 in overtime. So we are on projection to decrease our overtime cost by 86%. And that is really taking a deep analysis into what security is doing and making sure that we are not going into overtime without it being necessary. There are just some times when we might not have enough guards and we need somebody for an event. Certainly the guard pool at Atlas is increased. You know, they're pretty busy in our area right now, but I have to give it to Nick and his diligence with his scheduling and the way he's done this. This has already saved the district about $32,000 since the beginning of this school year. So we're very pleased with that. This also includes the scope of services with our event staff. And I have to give a shout out to Kevin Crudelli and our coaches and our event staff, because they all go through a training now. They are all CPR and first aid certified. You're very visible at our events. They've got the red shirts that say event host, but they are there to help us out. And the whole safety team has been exceptional. I'm very proud of that. So if we dig into fuel a little bit, we are projecting a 1.85% decrease in our spending, and that is really because we over budgeted a lot last year for our fuel oil and didn't use as much. And so we were able to cut it back just a little, not enough to cause us any damage if the fuel oil goes up, because, you know, things are so unknown, but we felt confident we could go down a little bit in that area. As we know, we're waiting for the bid from DCMO. It should be out February 10th, which will give us our fuel oil. We prefer competitive pricing at Tri-Valley. We don't want to get into the state contract rates, although they fluctuate. No, the state contract rates are steady. The competitive pricing it fluctuates. But, you know, sometimes we're going to be below it, sometimes we're going to be above it. And last year I went through and looked across the entire state of New York to see who was using state pricing and who was using competitive pricing, and just even resourcing some colleagues and what they chose. Really, the competitive pricing is the smartest for us to do. That's good. Electricity, again, this is one of those unknowns. We really don't have a lot of control over it. We are projecting a 2.38% increase. It is a little less than we first anticipated. It's all going to be based on market conditions, so that one we will watch very closely. Maintenance supplies and service agreements. So we're looking at a 9.93% increase here. Part of it is just, again, the cost of doing business and higher cost for our HVAC control panels, any required inspections, mandated equipment testing, but then also goods and materials and supplies has increased. This also includes a really smart decision that we made this past year when we moved over to day automation during the capital project. That they do our swipes, they do our security system, they do our heat control. We did not enter into a service agreement with them. So every time they came to our campus to help us out with something, it was time and materials. And so we were averaging $1,500 to $2,000 a call for them to come. So that was quite expensive, and it added up. Last year, just through some great conversations with the new representative at Day Automation, he comes to us once every 2 months from Newburgh. He really sat down and showed us what a service agreement would do for us. It's about $14,000 for the entire year, but then we can call them for anything. And so we know that that's going to be a huge savings when we tally that up at the end of year compared to last year. We also took a look at our trash expenses, and what we found was some of the funds could be reallocated into our cafeteria fund, our C fund, because that's where a lot of our trash comes from, is the cafeteria each day. So that helped us keep that fairly low. Our proposed tax rate will remain the same. It's at 0. We have no changes in this category. We don't have any active right now. We had a few last year, which we were able to settle. Our capital debt service is pretty incredible. If you look at those percentage rates, we originally went out to a bond for $4.5 million in 2021. We have paid $1.5 million through last June. We owe $3 million, but our interest is projected to be $53,250 for 26-27. And then on the right side, you can see the percentage that we'll be paying back until our bond matures in 2036. So that's been just really a great fiscal smart thing, and our interest rates are fantastic. So overall, here's a look at what we've got. So I included 24-25 into there, but the comparable on the right-hand side really is 25 and 26. And as you can see, those percentages kind of balance out. And so we are looking at a 1.41% in our capital component, which I have to tell you is super fiscally fantastic. It is without compromising any program. It is without compromising safety. It is without compromising anything that our buildings and our grounds need to run efficiently and effectively. Just as a reminder, and I'll show this for the next couple of presentations, if you are not a registered voter, please do. It is your civic duty and your civic right. Voter registration will be held May 12th and May 14th in the district office between 4 and 8 p.m. And then our annual school budget vote and election will be May 19th, 2026 from 1 to 8 p.m. in the lower level gym. What questions can I answer?
Security-wise, one of the questions. I see you reduced the services. How much did that impact us
We did not
as far as coverage?
We did not reduce any services. We have the same amount of guards. What we did was better schedule. So we have no change in the guards or the amount of guards. We'll use some overtime because some of our bigger events, our concerts, things when we have an evening, our plays and musicals. So we always have extra on hand for that, especially for doing some parking arrangements out there and outside. But there was no change in our guards. Same amount.
Busing has been a big one for me. We're negotiating with them at all, or?
So we'll get into that and our other components of the budget. We'll talk a little bit more about our busing.
What's your anticipation on the interest rate?
I can't give you one right now.
If I could, I'd like a hard copy of this stuff. I did not get any.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned prevailing wage with the security guards. What other contracts do we have covered by prevailing wage? All of them?
So any of the subcontractors that we would bring in to do work would be prevailing wage. Yes. Any other questions?
Erin, I have a question.
Yes.
So again, circling back to security, do we still utilize the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office to come in to subsidize or to assist with the armed security?
Yes. So we have a full-time SRO on campus. It's Michael Barrett that's with us for the remainder of the school year. So he's here every day with us as well. So we have 3 guards on and Michael every day.
And the decrease it includes the Sullivan County Sheriff's anticipated costs for the
Yes.
upcoming year as well.
Yes.
All right, so any other questions? All right, moving along. Superintendent Long is still going to present.
I'm just going to do my report.
Superintendent's report.
Yeah, great. So at your tables tonight are the menus I wanted everybody to take a quick look at. You know, we've been working really hard with Whitson's, and then also Jim Bigley and his daughter Heather, who are our food service consultants. They've been on campus a few times. They're really keeping a close eye on things. And after, you know, we brought to the attention to Whitson's the concerns we were having, you can see the new and improved menus coming out. There needs to be multiple types of pizza served. There needs to be more than one milk served. And you can see really great pizza choices coming up. There's going to be a lot of snack trials for the kids. We are allowing them to purchase some more smoothie machines because smoothies are very popular and they need a little bit more. We are getting panini machines to make sure that they can get a hot sandwich. You'll also see some calzones and strombolis added to the menu. The other great thing that's going on is you'll notice in breakfast, a lot of hot breakfast options, lots of reduced sugar cereal options, and that is on there now. So we are very happy with the improvements they're making. There are now free cups near each point of service station, where the point of sale station where the kids check out. They can access water whenever they need to. We are looking into some water coolers to have there that's easier for kids to access. And we know that just because of the treatments in the water, there's nothing harmful, but it does give a little bit of a taste. So we're going to be purchasing some water coolers. We're going to have one in here. We're going to have a few in the cafeteria so kids can fill up with water as much as they want. They can fill their water bottles, but they also have access to probably a 10-ounce, 12-ounce cup to get their water every day. The other great thing is the salad bar that Mr. Crudelli was talking about. So it's here. It has the bins are in. The food service is going to do a soft opening, most likely next week, and get that off the ground. But I did talk to our student media group, and we're going to do a formal ribbon cutting. We're going to do some fun media stuff. We're going to really spotlight the salad bar and encourage that to keep being very successful. Also, we've gotten both the USD grants through New York State Child Nutrition, and so that will provide us free after-school snacks now for our students every day. All of our students are eligible for those snacks, which will be a major cost savings to the district because we purchase snacks weekly through ShopRite or Sam's Club, and we won't need to do that. We have been back and forth with them on the menu choices. The first menu that came through, I wouldn't approve. It was a lot of Doritos and cookies and chips. So the new menu has yogurts and it has string cheese. It has fresh fruit. It has lots of oranges and bananas and anything that's decent and, you know, tasty and seasoned. So again, very pleased with our progress we're making with Whitson's, and we hope to get that snack program. Daisy's got a big agenda. She thinks we're going to start Monday, but we most likely will start the following week. So we're very happy with that. We've been contacting Steve Walsh and talking a lot about the veterans tax exemption, and he is planning to come here on February 12th to meet with us. I've asked him for the numbers so that we can crunch numbers and give an accurate report to the board and possibly even be able to make that decision that night. So Leslie and I have been working with him, and he will get that information to us. As you know, the governor presented her State of the State address last week. Everybody's analyzing it. I'm going to a Mid-Hudson Council meeting next week. We'll have our representatives from our New York State Council on School Superintendents to give us the breakdown and what it looks like. Our initial aid runs are out. Last year we received 2.0% in foundation aid. Right now it's looking like we'll have 2.28% in foundation aid, so a slight increase. So that's encouraging. Some exciting stuff. I was mentioning it earlier. This year marks the 40th anniversary of our varsity girls softball state championship. And Larry Whipple and Mr. Crudelli are working together to try to do some type of fun commemorative celebration at opening day for Little League this year. So hopefully that comes together nicely. And then finally, we have two foils. One from January 5th from Janet Diamond, all expenses associated with the administrative retreat held in Johnson City, New York at the Traditions at the Glen Hotel and Spa, included but not limited to cost, meals, spa services, golf fees, etc. And then one from Janet Diamond on January 5th, the budget status report for 25-26 showing the original appropriation and all expenditures and encumbrances for budget codes to date. The budget status report is required to include any adjustments to the budget and any unencumbered balance for each fund, and budget code includes all funds. Revenue status reports for all funds, including capital funds and all grant monies. This report should include estimated revenues, amounts received to date, and revenues estimated to be received during the balance of the fiscal year. Any questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
Spas and golfing were mentioned in it. Did any of that actually take place?
No. So
It sounds
traditions.
glorious, but
Right, yeah, no. So Traditions was a central location for us. We had two people we worked with for our 2-day retreat. One is a coach that's teaching us the PLC process. So she came from Rochester and worked with us all day. And the second day was really jumping into the PLC process. And he was the superintendent from Owego Appalachian. And so to kind of combine with his family's summer schedule and a trip they had, we went to Johnson City. Whoop, whoop. We had a lot of fun at Wegmans, but there was no spa. There was no golf. It was about 104 degrees actually outside, but that's just the name of the hotel.
thank you.
Thank you.
Karen, I have a quick question also. In the past, we've asked how many hours has been invested in our staff taking time to do these foils and the amount of money the district is spending on these foils. Can you get that information for us? to
Yes. Yep.
please?
I'll do a total and then, a December or September to December kind of update for you to January to let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Erin. Okay, moving along. Are there any items the board wishes pulled from tonight's agenda? All right, moving along. So I will need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion.
Motion by Jerry, second by Tammy. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote. All right, that is unanimous. Moving along, new business, the 2026-27 academic calendar. I need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Motion Rose,
Second.
second Travis. Any discussion? All right, please proceed to vote. That is also unanimous. Oh, it's open to vote. I'm sorry. I'm a little rusty. I apologize. Okay. Just okay, that is unanimous. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education accepts and approves the academic calendar for the 26-27 school year. Next, teacher aide appointment. Need a motion and a second. Motion Jerry. Second Travis.
Second.
Travis. Okay. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote. That is also unanimous. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools and the Board of Education at its January 22nd, 2026 meeting, approves the appointment of Jenna Knox to a teacher aide position pending fingerprint clearance, commencing on February 2, 2026. This appointment is at step 10 per the current TESA contract for 25-26 school year, prorated.
Carrie, may I just interject real quick? I think we missed 12A and 13A. Old business.
My apologies. I might have scrolled down too quickly. My apologies. Okay. So 12A. Oh, old business, the December 18th board meeting minutes. I need a motion and a second. So motion Tammy, second Jerry. Any discussion?
What we did with those, we tabled them because of a concern I had and some other ones had in reference to what is allowed in the minutes. So that's been addressed. So yeah, everything's fine.
Any other discussion? Okay, please proceed to vote. That is also unanimous. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the draft minutes dated December 18th, 2025. And I apologize, I'm going to go backwards. I think I need to also cover 11, right? The consent agenda personnel, or that was also covered. That's all right. All right, so we're gonna move on along. All right.
Just 13A now.
13A. Thank you. All right. Public comment session for items that are not on tonight's agenda. Has anybody signed in to speak? No, we will move along. Thank you. All right. 14C is where we're at. All right. 2026 agreement, Tri-Valley Central School District and the Center for Discovery. Need a motion and a second?
Motion.
Motion, Rose, second, Tammy. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question in reference to legality. Since we do not have a president, is that supposed to be taken with the signature of the president? So how, and also we had some signatures, some signings from the January 8th meeting that is really null and void.
So we're going to pull those to be re-signed. This only requires my signature and the Center for Discovery signature, but we want the board to approve it, and then we'll pass it on to the Center for Discovery.
My question, now that we're at least on the subject of a signature, is there any way the board can help in some way with having the authority being done by someone else because we have no signature person? So can the board approve a person to do the signature, or maybe the superintendent? Or I've never, ever in my 20 years experienced what we're going through now. And it's very sad to me. And it does affect our kids.
Last board meeting will appear on the next agenda for approval again.
Yes.
For the acting or the hopefully the president, the seated president, to sign off on.
Yes.
Okay. So we need to vote on this, correct? Okay. Please proceed to vote. That is also unanimous. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the 2025-26 agreement between Tri-Valley Central School District and the Center for Discovery as attached to the executive section of the agenda. Okay. So the next item of new business is the delegate nomination for the Sullivan County School Board Association. Is this something we can move forward with, or does this need to be tabled?
So it really is, we have 3 now. Sullivan Boces has asked for 3. So when Keith stepped away, that left us with 2. So we do need to see if we can appoint someone else. And then I think you can talk among yourselves to see who wants to be the first delegate, and then the second delegate, and then the backup delegate.
So right now, nobody's seated in that position?
Nobody
That's
is.
not true. If I may,
Mhm.
I was the delegate. The president of the board, Tri-Valley Board at the time, was our representative. I was the delegate, and I believe Jerry was the second delegate. Right now, we need a third one.
So we need a representative,
So we need 2.
And then if you want to become the representative, you can declare that.
That's up to the board.
And then Jerry can stay on, and then we need a third person.
That's correct.
So three. We're deciding on three people.
We're not revoting on the two that are already sitting. We're just replacing the one.
So the
Okay.
third person would be if one of the other two could not make it.
Yes.
Well, there is something that they did different this year. Please maybe call and see if this is correct. That each school used to have one vote, now they have two. So it's very important that not only the delegate is there, but the alternate as well. And it bodes well for Tri-Valley to have that attendance because, we need to be out there, let them know that Tri-Valley exists.
In Sullivan County School Boards and are trying to just get more members involved. We're really trying to beef up our attendance at our events that we're going to, our dinners, and just get better voices from the districts. And so that's why they opened it up for an additional vote from each school.
And they raised the dues this year too to for us was what, $12.50?
It's a per student cost.
Yes.
Yes, if you're under 1,500 students, it's a per student cost.
And I think ours was $12.50. Thank you. I didn't mean to cause a disruption here in any way.
I needed clarity personally. This was going to work anyway. Is there anybody interested in being the third delegate on behalf of Tri-Valley?
Well, really, you should delegate number 1, number 2, and number 3. So right now, there's just 2 and 3. So you need, if you want number 2 to move up, that's up to the board.
I don't think so. I think it's a volunteer. I don't think it needs to be voted on. I think you just need volunteers.
Whatever you wish.
Is there an upcoming meeting or a reason we need to move forward with this tonight instead of waiting until having our ninth member?
There will be one, I think it's in 2 weeks. Let me just double check.
February.
Yeah, it's right.
Meeting before that? Or meetings before? Any opinions or conversation about tabling this until the next meeting where we have hopefully a full board present and then making a decision as to who would fill in that last seat?
Next Monday night is the next Sullivan County School Board meeting at Liberty. Imagine we're probably going to postpone that, but if George and Jerry are willing to go, then we're well represented. And if somebody wants to try it out, you could come with us, and then maybe that would help you make your decision.
But all three delegates do not have to, just one, correct?
We really want 2 there.
2?
Mhm.
Oh. Okay.
Any thoughts on tabling it? Are we moving forward with selecting somebody? Is anybody interested?
I would be interested.
So Rose is interested. Thank you, Rose. Anybody else interested? Sounds like we have Rose. Okay, I need a motion and a second for Rose.
So what is the order of number 1, number 2?
But it doesn't matter for number 1, number 2, number 3, right?
Someone has to be the first district representative. Yes. George, would you like that?
Up to the board.
I would like George to take
Okay,
it.
so George, are you interested, Tammy, or no?
What I was going to say is, can we vote on
On
Rose
Rose.
and then make that decision?
Agree. So, and this would have to be a hand vote, correct? Or to pick, well, first we're going to, Rose is, yes. Okay, so all those in favor of Rose being selected as the delegate for Sullivan County School Boards, please raise your hand. Okay, that is unanimous. All right. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, Board of Education does hereby approve Rose Woods as the delegate for the Sullivan County School Board Association. So now next, what we're going to do is select the order. So we have order 1, 2, 3. George is currently acting in this capacity as a representative, as well as Jerry. So we just need to select the order, and now we have Rose also participating as one of our delegates. So is there any discussion about who we would like to put in an order? So go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that George take number 1, Jerry take number 2, and Rose take number 3.
I'll second that. Second.
Everyone has seconded that motion. So, okay, so we're going to go Tammy, and I think Travis
will
was
take the
second on that.
All right.
All right, so we need to do this by hand, correct? Yes, okay. All those in favor as having George, then Jerry, and then Rose in that particular order as representatives of delegates of our school district. All right, that looks unanimous. Thank you very much. You're on board with that.
Can you
right?
just repeat when that meeting is?
It's scheduled for Monday evening from 5 to 7 at Liberty. And I'll have Leslie update those calendars to make sure that you're getting those calendar invites as well. So they have the calendar laid out for there. Yes. Yes, we'll make sure she's on the list. Yeah, we'll make sure you're added to the list. I anticipate we won't be at the dinner.
Okay, I think do we need to do anything as well? Okay, so now we're going to go back one more time, and we're going to vote. All those in favor of having Rose as the delegate. I thought we did this, but okay. So Rose is the delegate. I think we did this. This was unanimous. Yes. Okay. Moving on. Board comment session. Hey, Travis, do you have any comments this evening?
Yes, just very brief. Thank you, PTO. Please get us out the prices for the shirts and how to get them and where to get them. That would be great. Administrative presentations. Thank you very much for coming up and letting us know what's going on with the school. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Chris?
There's no new problems with the students. Everyone's actually very content right now. There was applause about the cross-country awards being hung up in the hallway. There were some kids waiting on that, and it just got hung up, but that's really about it.
Nicole? Thank you. Jerry? Jerry has no comments. Tammy?
I'm good, thank you.
Rose?
I just wanted to thank the PTO for all that they do, and I was really impressed by their presentation. They must have really practiced because they did a great job. I did just have one question. I was wondering if we've received any feedback on the Beacon Connect app from parents.
Interesting, I was talking with them yesterday because Jen, I haven't told you this, but they would like to come to the Bear Bash because there's not a lot of parents that are using it. So the parents that they are talking to that are calling for questions, they're encouraging them to use the app. We backpacked home all the directions and then we put things on our website for people to see. So they're going to set up at the Bear Bash so they can further support the families. The feedback has been good for the ones using it, but there's not a lot of families that are taking advantage of it yet.
George?
I understand that our main man in our Department of Maintenance is going to be retiring. And I feel that that's a very important position. And he's done a lot for this district in saving us money. So I would, since I've asked many times to have him come in and let us know what's going on, I'd like to see him either being followed and tracked on tape, the things that are in this district that has been addressed and that needs to be addressed, or how you fix certain things, or the maintenance timing of them. Because I think that position is critical. Because this district was shut down if it's not for the maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't afford that. So it's something to think about, and I think it'd be worthwhile investing into that. And I think he'd love to be on tape. You know, really.
As long as he doesn't know it. He's a,
He's a very important person.
very much so. He knows every nut and bolt in this whole entire campus.
Back years ago when I was on the board, we used to have him come in once a month, come in and give an update on what's going on with the board, right on down to what they're using to seal the gym floor, what type of stuff they're using. But we always had somebody in the wings that was going to take over, that knew everything about that. That's the time when we had really a continuity here. And it did go a long ways.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, whatever we can do, I think it'd be worthwhile, saving a lot of money if something goes down.
Yeah, I agree. That's why we're trying to formulate that plan to bring them on soon so they can spend the remainder of the year with him. And you just, put some ideas in my head about maybe we've got ways we can just record conversations that turn into notes, and that might be an option when Jesse's sitting down or looking at the well or, some of our systems and says da-da-da-da-da-da, goes into a digital notebook and then that person has access to it.
I'm not suggesting it's a detriment to him, it's a compliment to him.
For sure.
Please share that with him.
I will.
Thank you.
I want to thank Tim and Ian for coming out tonight, for being here so long. It's been a very long meeting. I do want to remind the board that our next meeting is February 12th. We really should think some things over between now and next meeting about leadership and our presidency and our vice president and the person that we want to join us at this table, so that we're not running into this problem again next month, or the next couple of weeks. So really take some time to think about leadership here.
Second.
Motion carries. Second. Any discussion? Please proceed. Thank you.